All right, everyone. Hello and welcome. My name is James. I'm the head of the soundboard team at Edge Theory. We provide the soundboard. Yeah, I know. Big surprise there. So thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to talk all about Twitter. We are looking at the Twitter profile of the @Juice Plus Helper, which is the soundboard handle that I run to help people and answer their questions. Some of what we're going to talk about today, I've covered in past training, so I'm going to just go quickly through those things. And then the bulk of what I want to talk about is how do we leverage Twitter? How do we get over that learning curve? Twitter definitely is the weirdest platform of all of the social media platforms. It has the highest learning curve, but it also has the highest capacity for connecting you with new people and new audiences, okay? So the reason that I'm starting here on the profile is just a friendly reminder to take the time to fill out your profile. We have the ability to tweet for you at the soundboard. Twitter's the only social media platform that allows an outside system like the soundboard to tweet on behalf of its users. So technically, you could create a Twitter account, sign up for the soundboard, and we start tweeting for you, and you would never have to log on to Twitter and do anything. Now, is that best practice? Absolutely not, but it is possible. So Twitter's the one that you've always got to remember, hey, you've got to come back and set this up and make this look like you're a real person. So there's a couple of components to your profile quickly. You can see this big background image is a hard one to fill because it's so wide. It's a 1500 by 500 pixel shot. So it's a 3-to-1 ratio that you've got to cover. So if you try to put a square graphic in there, it's going to slice it off, slice the tops and bottoms off, and it's not going to look good. You've got to have some kind of image here for a profile, whether it's your beautiful face or some kind of product logo or something if you're less comfortable with that. You do have the capacity to fill out this as your name. If your name is John Smith, right here, you can put John Smith, and there can be 5,000 other John Smiths on Twitter, and everybody have the same name. This, following the @ symbol, is actually your Twitter handle. Okay, so your Twitter handle is @something. That has to be completely unique and cannot be duplicated on Twitter. That's how people find you. So when you're creating an account, I'm going to pick on somebody real quick here. We're going to take a look at my follower list. When you're creating an account, let's pick on Anne Marie right here. I don't know Anne Marie. Anne, if you're on the call, sorry for pointing you out. When you sign up for Twitter and it gives you some suggested, if your name is John Smith, and you obviously are not going to get the Twitter handle @John Smith that's been taken for 15 years, it's going to give you a suggestion of something like this with some combination of letters from your name and then a bunch of numbers following it. Do not accept this combination and just go with it. It's really hard for you to remember. No one else is going to remember it. I'm also very suspicious about Anne Marie here. She's probably not a real person. This is probably a bot account, which we will talk more about later. But it is critical that you do take the time to fill out your profile, okay? Diane, if you're on the call, sorry to pick on you. No one is going to interact with you. Even if I'm tweeting for you, even if the soundboard is putting out great relevant content for you every day, if this is what you look like, nobody's going to take the time to talk to you or respond to your stuff because you don't look like a real person, okay? So please take that time to update your Twitter profile and put, any kind of information about yourself. You also have the capacity to put in your website here, a little blurb about yourself. And since you're a person, I would highly encourage you to put the location where you are. Twitter will do a good job of connecting you with people. Now, what is a tweet? Of course, a tweet is a short phrase. It's a message. It's a post. It can include graphics. It can include links to something else. It used to have a character count of 140. Twitter has doubled that to 280 and I think it was last fall that they did that. So you have a lot more flexibility. The point of Twitter, though, is to be fast. It is to be relevant. It is to be throwing your thoughts out there on a quick basis. What has made Twitter so powerful as an agent of social change is that anybody on the street who has a cell phone camera can replace or override or be more valuable than an ABC News. Because if you're there talking about what's really going on, you have the authority. And what Twitter does is it lets you check on trends of stuff that's going on in the world and hear what everybody in the world has to say about that, regardless of who they are or how many followers they have. Okay, this is very important. When you are just looking at your home feed, you can see some trends here. Mine are based on, I'm in Central Time Zone, and so it's based on the time zone thing. I don't know what any of these are, so I'm actually not going to click on them because you never quite know. Something is going on in Alabama. And then popular hashtags show up as well as trends. Old things I want back. If you use that hashtag and talk about something old that you want back, the power of a hashtag is that it lets your statement, your conversation piece, be shared alongside everybody else on the planet who's using that. So your tweet, if you have 112 followers, can show up right next to a tweet from, you know, Beyonce or whatever mega celebrity you can think about, as long as you're all using the same hashtag. This is where Twitter becomes such a powerful instrument for connecting you with people, because yes, you do have followers. You build up a follower base, and that's a valuable thing to do. You also follow other people to hear what they have to say on a regular basis in your home feed. But since everything that happens on this platform is completely public, everything you say on this platform is completely public, then the value comes in because the size of your account almost becomes irrelevant in your capacity to get in front of new people and connect with new conversations. Now, when we're tweeting for you, we are actively working on that by including relevant hashtags. This is a general one, but there are also other timely things to talk about. May coming up, the month of May, is a lot of health awareness months associated with the month of May. It's Celiac Disease Awareness Month. It's Arthritis Awareness Month. Stroke Prevention Month. There's a lot of topics coming up in May that are great things, great conversations to be a part of. We're going to do our part at Soundboard to include you in those conversations, but we also want you to be aware of those things and to go out and know how to get associated with those conversations. Now, I'm going to go ahead and click on this hashtag here and just show you. Again, hashtag healthy. Let's go over here and let's click on the latest. So this is going to show us tweets. Hashtag healthy. You see lots and lots of different people using this. So here we've got Dr. Frankie, who is into Italian cooking, who has close to 1,000 followers. If you keep going, you are going to find accounts. This is a smaller one. We've got some type of athlete here. You have all of these people, that dude's ripped, who are all talking about this same conversation, okay? And so this is where the value of the platform comes in, because all those lessons that we've learned on Facebook about being, siloed in the kind of information that we share, Twitter is, we have to set those lessons aside and learn a new set of lessons for Twitter. Twitter is not the place where you come to have conversations between you and your spouse because it's all public. It is not the place where you come and you share your naked baby photos. It is completely inappropriate to do that because everything can be found by anyone else on the platform and outside of the platform, including Google. Tweets show up in Google. So somebody who's not even on the platform can get connected with your content based on that. It's really powerful. So that's, trends, hashtags, why it's valuable to be out there and involved in these things and talking about these things. For instance, this has been a good one. Is today Thursday? Today is National Get to Know Your Customer Day. Let's see what's going on with this. Today, April 19th, is National Get to Know Your Customer Day. So you can search for things by topic. What an awesome, conversation to be a part of, looking at content from other people who have ideas about this. So whenever you learn about something that's going on, hop on Twitter and see what people are saying about it and how you can get involved. To do so, in this case, this isn't a hashtag, this is just a phrase, but we would create a tweet. All right, we let me close this and show you again. So we searched for something, right? Get to know your customer is our search. Since we've already searched for that, we hit the tweet button, Twitter's thinking we already want to talk about this. So let's say today is, let's capitalize it so we're showing that we know what's going on. Your customer day. So now we're going to be involved in that conversation. We at the Soundboard are so thankful for each of you. Let's not put 2 exclamation points in a row. What's the best part of your day today? So ask a question, see what kind of responses we can get. So to be included in that conversation, either simply include the phrase as we've just done or include the hashtag. Again, you can check what's trending here. This one's kind of fun, Game Struck. There's another one, Film Struck. It's 4 games or films that have influenced you. A lot of people are using that today. That's going around. So just use that hashtag to get involved. Now, I'm going to make a little side detour here about hashtags. There's 2 sites out there that I really like that help you gauge hashtag value. Hashtagify.me is a site that ranks hashtag popularity. So let's go ahead and take a look at the one we just did. Volunteer. Well, sorry, we didn't do just this one. I was thinking that we didn't do it. This is also National Volunteer Week, so a big deal. A lot of nonprofits are talking about that this week. So it is a highly popular hashtag this week, but the other thing that Hashtagify will show you is related hashtags that other people are using based on popularity. So if you're using the hashtag volunteer, you should also use the hashtag donate and charity and nonprofit, if that makes sense, because you're going to be included in those conversations as well, and those are active conversations going on. Sorry, I have a bird trying to get in my office window. He looks angry. The other thing that I really like is RiteTag, RiteTag. RiteTag is another hashtag search. Let's use volunteer again. So what RiteTag will show you about hashtags is related hashtags that are getting active use, and then from their opinion, things that are getting less use that if you do use them, you might get seen over time, but they're not just blowing the doors off of things. And then if you keep scrolling, it'll even say, hey, here's ones that you might think are good, but actually are not being used at all. So don't even bother with them. The other thing that I really like about RiteTag is that it has a free browser extension that you can install. And when you're on Twitter and you're typing a tweet, it'll pop up right here, and it'll actually rank the hashtag as you're typing it. and give you some other suggestions. It's a really cool, really powerful tool. All right, I'm going, let's see, discard. Yes, we want to discard this tweet. All right, next thing. What do you do? How do you interact with people? What is the etiquette on Twitter? Well, my first stop is always to check the notifications tab. The notifications tab is going to tell you any number of things about what's going on with your follower base and people who are engaging with you. Now, this is just my personal 2 cents. I am one of these people that I do not do well if my email inbox has the number 2000 beside it. Just my brain doesn't accept that as valuable. So I would highly recommend, once you get active on Twitter, going to your settings, turning off all your email notifications from Twitter, because they will wear you out. They will come all day, every day. Turn off all your email notifications, but make sure you turn on your lock screen notifications for Twitter on your phone, so that you can tell when somebody likes something or retweets you or follows you, so that you can act on it quickly. I don't need an email to tell me that happened. I need my phone to tell me that happened so that I can deal with it. Emails, Twitter, don't email me 20 times a day. It's not valuable. So as we're looking through our notifications, it'll tell you a couple things. Somebody we followed tweeted something and we just missed it because we haven't logged on today. It'll also tell you if someone liked something that you did, and it'll also tell you who has followed you. So with followers, I think it's very valuable and good etiquette to check on them and see who they are if you want to follow them back. Okay, here's Anne Marie that we were picking on earlier. I know very little about Anne Marie from this. Again, this makes me suspicious that she's actually not a real person. I am not going to follow her back. However, the Doctor's Advantage, he's just getting going. He's following a ton of people, but nobody's followed him back yet. I'm probably not interested in his liquid natural products. I'm not going to follow him back. This is a wonderful person to connect with. He's a chiropractor, a nutritionist, a rehab specialist, a sports chiropractor, functional medicine practitioner. Incredible, incredible connection opportunity there. So we're already following him, but the best practice is to go ahead and follow that person back. And then let's try to reach out and make an engagement with that person. Let's talk to them. We need to keep in mind, it doesn't work in real life if we show up to a conversation ready to share all the knowledge and wisdom that we have without listening. That doesn't work. And if we show up only willing to talk about product, that doesn't work in real life. We need to also practice that on social media. We want to engage that person where they are and draw them out based on what they're interested in. Okay, so let's go check this profile out. Obviously, he's interested in produce, natural food here. Here's our information about him. He's been on Twitter for a long time. He's got a healthy following, and how many he's following and who's following him. He tweets a lot. He's sharing news about what's going on in the world, all kinds of things like this. Let me check the chat here. We have a question. Okay, so someone is asking, he's tried to connect with an influencer at Rich Roll. Have tweeted this account on many occasions. He has not responded. This has worked with another influencer, Dr. Joel Kahn. Please advise. It doesn't work every time. It is not bulletproof. It's not a perfect tactic. You will get people who respond and people who don't, but you never know if they will until you try. If you've tried 2 or 3 times and they don't respond, drop them. But let's reach out and try to make a connection with Dr. Weitz here. Now, he may or may not personally be running this Twitter handle. He might have somebody in his office doing it. Regardless, it's still probably a great connection to make, because he might really want to know more about our whole food-based product, right? So whenever you visit someone's profile, you have 2 buttons here. You can tweet to, or you can message. The tweet to button is what you want to use in the beginning. This is the public response system on Twitter where you can start a conversation with somebody. We'll come back to this in a moment and we'll tweet at them. The message button here is the direct message system of Twitter. Now, everybody's got one. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, everybody's got their own direct message system. But Twitter's has been the most historically abused by virus, spammers, pornographers, and weight loss scams. People are very, very suspicious about opening direct messages that are unsolicited. So don't start there, or they'll write you off forever if they even check it, which they probably won't. So we want to tweet to. So let's tweet to, keeping in mind this person is a nutritionist and is into all these functional medicine things. Now remember, our purpose here is to connect. Our purpose here is to ask questions, to draw out, to look for a response. We're not saying, I'm here to tell you about my healthy living mission. I'm here with X, Y, and Z. Let me tell you about this. Nope, because if you do that, here comes the walls. We are going to try to be a real person and have a normal conversation. So at Wet Sports Cairo, do you have any good suggestions for recovering from a sports injury? How long should we wait before exercising after a muscle sprain? All right. Something. You think of anything. I don't know. I don't type well when people are looking at me. Again, our whole point is throw out the fish hook and hope they will take the bait, because you are appealing to them, because you're trying to find out from them what they care about and what information they have. If you do nothing else on Twitter except let the soundboard tweet for you and respond to your notifications, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised with the kind of reactions that you get, because Twitter is the platform where people are so used to getting on, scrolling through their feed, reading, maybe clicking a link, reading a larger article, hopping off. It's such a consumer-heavy platform that when you take the time to slow down for a minute and actually really reach out and try to talk to somebody, in this case, somebody who looks like they're active, I think you will be pleasantly surprised with how many people respond and how many people engage with you. Now I did this on another call with a person this morning. The person that I was talking to is a health coach and is trying to grow their business, making those kinds of connections. So one of the things we talked about is, who do you want to make the connection with? Well, this person said, I'm a busy mom. I want to make connections with busy moms. So here's what we did. We looked for mommy bloggers on Twitter. All right, so when I create a search on Twitter, it defaults to top. Top's going to bring you actual tweets plus people, and I'm really not interested in the tweets at the moment. I just want to check out people. Are we going to make a meaningful connection with a mommy blogger who's going to resell our services? Probably not. But we might. It is a possibility. So follow this mommy blogger. But the better thing to do is this. Go to their profile. All right. Now this one is a little bit weird because this mommy blogger is only using Twitter to, it looks like, automate stuff from another source. Regardless, what we want to do is not necessarily make an effort in connecting with this mommy blogger. We want to see who's following her. We want to connect with the moms who follow the mommy blogger so that we can make the connection with the busy moms, the interested and invested moms who probably are very dedicated to the health and wellness of their children. So this is over 1,000 followers here. You got a pretty warm market of people to go follow and begin that engagement and conversation process with. Just strike up a conversation with somebody. Follow. This is a Jamberry consultant. I don't know what Jamberry is. You may not want to follow people who are also pushing their own products, but you might. You decide. You can swap tips, swap products. This person's all about natural hair care. This person's a mommy to this little boy. This is Travis's hippie mommy. She's into love, light, mindfulness. Go follow these people. The likelihood of them following you back, since you've got your profile set up and you're showing that you're a real person too, is very high. And look at their profile, check out what's going on with them, and begin to ask them questions based on public posts that they've made. What do they care about? What are they interested in? Let's pick on the introverted mommy here. This is too good to pass up. So the introverted mommy lives in Alabama. I live in Mississippi, and Loxley, I think, is a pretty small town. She would probably be delighted to have a conversation. She's tweeting regularly, all right? She's up to date. She's sharing funny things. She's sharing some quotes, some encouragement, some funny things, ha, ha, ha. This person is super active on Twitter. They will probably see that notification within 5 minutes and probably respond to you. Ask them what they think about X, Y, and Z. Hey, do you have suggestions on healthy meals for busy soccer nights? You know, whatever it is, just do something to draw them out and to engage with them to start that conversation. Now, once the conversation starts going back and forth on Twitter and you actually are having that conversation, that is when you can say, do you mind if we switch to direct message? The benefit of direct message is, of course, it's totally private. And then there's no character count limit on it. So you can actually really have a real conversation with somebody. You can swap email addresses through direct message safely. You can swap phone numbers through direct message safely. I know you've probably heard me say it before. Don't ever tweet out your email address or your phone number. It will be scraped. It will be picked up. It will be used for nefarious purposes. You probably will get hacked. Don't do it. Direct message, totally fine to share all that stuff. So you can take the conversation off of Twitter and switch it to email or hopefully even a phone call someday. So when you look at Twitter, I always try to keep coming back to it feels really weird to look at this because this is not a message. It's just a bunch of hashtags. But what she's trying to do is show up in all of these searches. And this is actually a screenshot from Instagram, of all things. I bet a lot of these things are actually. A lot of what we're talking about today actually applies to Instagram too. But the whole goal here is to use this totally public platform where people are not suspicious of random people talking to them. They're not suspicious of getting communicated with if they're paying attention. Unlike Facebook, where if you get a direct message from somebody, it feels a little weird. You get an unsolicited somebody Facebook posting at you, or if you make a public post and you get somebody comment on a public post that they're asking kind of, questions about you or what you're doing. On Facebook, that just feels weird because we've been so taught to put up a little bit of concentric walls around what we're doing. There are no walls on Twitter, so embrace that. Don't let that make you nervous. Don't let that make you feel weird. Now, let's dig down into other ways to connect with people that are pretty cool. So we're looking here. I'm logged into the Juice Plus Helper handle. Twitter lists are a very valuable thing. I'm going to click on lists here. Lists serve two purposes. One is that you can set up, once you follow a bunch of people, your home feed can get very overwhelming if you want to use it to consume content topically. So you can, I don't use this handle to consume content, so it's not set up ideally. But you can create a list, name it, and then put different people that you follow, you don't even have to follow them, into a list. So I have several lists on Twitter. I have my local news. I'm not going to watch the 6 o'clock news. You couldn't pay me $1 million. It's terrible. But I do want to know about road closures and those kinds of things. And my local news anchors and news stations are terrific at tweeting out that kind of stuff. So I can check my news list, and in 5 minutes, I know exactly what I need to know about what's going on in my community. I have a list of all the music acts and all the bands that I love and their tour dates, so I can, in 5 minutes, know everything that's going on with all my bands. My home feed, it's just this crazy mix of stuff. So what you can do is you can create a list, and you can make it public or private. If it's a public list, other people, you can pass it around. Other people in your teams can subscribe to it. You can make a list of mommy bloggers. You can make a list of health professionals, health influencers, and you and your team can follow this list. Or you can make it private if it's just, if it's just for you, for your consumption. But once you make these lists, okay, see you later. I'll keep recording. Have a great one. Once you make this list, again, if it's public, you can pass it around. Now, here's the other kicker. You might have been put in a list that you were never aware of. Someone can add you to a list, which means they value you. They value what you have to say even more than just following you. They're not only are they following you now, they're trying to single you out into a topic based on something. So these are all the lists that this handle is a member of. So here's how to find this. Just go to your own profile, then click lists, then click member of. Now, if you haven't created a list, this might not be here. But the way to get around that is type in the address bar twitter.com, then your Twitter name, then the word memberships. We can kill this here off after the question mark. Type the word well, just got a new computer and I'm really getting used to the mouse. Oh, I'm frozen. We're still frozen? Zoom has frozen. Did I lose everybody?